chers amis et chères amies sur le chemin de la pratique. It is my honor and pleasure again tonight to present the order of Interbeing. So I will invite the bell 3 times before I start. So tonight is July 29th, 2020, and we are on Zoom from Ottawa. My talk is about an overview of the order of Interbeing. In Vietnamese, we call that dòng tu tiếp hiện. Dòng tu mean exactly order, but tiếp hiện cannot be translated as interbeing, but I suggested to you the word interbeing because the translation will be so difficult, as I will explain later the meaning of the two words tiếp hiện. The two words tiếp hiện represent the ideal of engaged Buddhism that we will see tonight. And you can see the two Chinese characters at the bottom of the first slide here, which just simply mean tiếp hiện. And we will finish with a snapshot history of the Ottawa Pagoda Sangha OI. So I will start with my next slide. I hope everybody can see clearly the screen and can hear me well. This one shows you the picture of the first 6 tiếp hiện members that Thầy ordained in 1966. And if you remember well, in the 60s, while the war continued to ravage Vietnam, the teachings of the Buddha were desperately needed to combat hatred, violence, and divisiveness, enfolding the whole country. In 1965, Thầy founded the School of Youth for Social Service to provide the training to the young people who are willing to go to the remote villages to help out, to assist the victims of the war. In 1966, Thầy ordained those 6 young members of the School of Youth for Social Service. To learn more about their life and their work, you are invited to read the book Learning True Love, an autobiography by Sister Chân Không. On the picture you can see Sister Phượng, the second one on the picture, who becomes later Sister Chân Không. Mademoiselle Phượng also is depicted on the picture on the right, where she wears a brown robe at that time. Young and beautiful. Those members of the School of Youth for Social Service are really volunteering to go and help the victims of the war. And there were several tragic moments that took place during that time. Several students of Thai have been assassinated, and even today we don't know who were behind the killing. On the picture, I would like to draw your attention to the third person, Mademoiselle Phan Thị Mai, who was a great friend of Sister Phượng, and who immolated herself in 1967, which is only a year later after she had been ordained as a member of the Order of Interbeing. Her story was well described by Sister Chen Không in her book, as well as in her recent memoir in Vietnamese, written in several tomes that I had a chance to receive from a friend from Vietnam, because it was published in Vietnam. Today, Sister Chen Không, at 82 years old, and she's still working tirelessly to help the poor in Vietnam. And she still maintains her project from day one, the project called Understanding and Love. She became one of the most efficient and the right-hand assistant of Thầy Nhất Hạnh for almost 54 years. Wonderful Bodhisattva. I will turn to the next slide. This one gives you a summary of the 14 mindfulness training. The members of the Order of Interbeing vow to study, to practice, and to observe the 14 mindfulness training, which represent a wonderful combination of traditional Buddhist morality and contemporary social concerns. The mindfulness training were updated and evolved continuously. And there were two international councils that took place, one in 1992 and one in 1996, where members are gathered in retreats to discuss about the mindfulness training and to actualize, to update those trainings so that they reflect our time, so they become more appropriate. I believe that the 14 mindfulness training could be considered as the guideline for anyone wishing to live mindfully. The most important one is the seventh, which is the core of all the 14 mindfulness training. It directs us to establish ourselves in the present moment and be aware of what is going on, which is the key of maintaining our stability in the midst of this fast-moving world. So I hope we will have a chance to come back to more discussing the 14 mindfulness training during the time when we recite the 14 mindfulness training. Now I invite you to go to the next one. The next one, those are called the 4 principles of the Order of Interbeing. They constitute the foundation of the Order of Interbeing. First, we have non-attachment from views. We can simply say to be attached to To hear means to be attached or to be caught in dogma, in prejudice, in habit, or in even what we consider to be the truth. The first aim of our practice is to be free of all attachment, especially attachment to view. This is the most important teaching of Buddhism. The next one is direct experimentation. Buddhism emphasizes on the direct experimentation of reality and not on intellectual research or speculative philosophy. We would like to use our own life as the instrument through which we experiment the truth. The next one is appropriateness. In Vietnamese, we have two words, khế lý and khế cơ, the two criteria that we need to make the teaching reflecting the needs of the people and the realities of the society. Khế lý means it must conform with the basic tenets of Buddhism, while khế cơ means it must be truly helpful and relevant. And the fourth principle is skillful means. Skillful means consists of method and technique created by intelligent teachers to show the Buddha's way and to guide people in their effort to practice the way in their own particular circumstances, in their own weaknesses. So those are four beautiful principles of the order of Interbeing. So here we have the meaning of the brown jacket, as Thầy taught in Germany in 2010. When we wear the brown jacket, the brown robe of a monk or a nun, we have to manifest that spirit, the virtue of humility. We do not say we are worth more than someone else, better than someone else, that we have more authority or power than someone else. We have a spiritual strength. That spiritual strength is very silent. It makes no sound. It is the silence of the brown collar. When lay people put the brown robe or the brown jacket on, they should put it on in the spirit of humility, the spirit of the power of silence. So here I put the picture of the first Canadian OI after two retreats that Thầy led in Quebec, one in 1985 and one in 1987. So the picture was taken at Camp-les-Sommets in 1987, the second batch of the OI ordination that I belong to. And you can see Young Vin standing behind. And the Vin today with her white hair. So I'm going next to the next slide. I would like to invite you to investigate the meaning of the word tip. Tip has three meanings. The first one is receive. We can be receiving the seed of insight from our spiritual ancestors. And when we receive that, what do? We strive to continue or to be part of the continuation of our ancestral teachers. And the third meaning is to be in touch with, tip suk. We would like to be in touch with the present moment, the wonderful life that is present in us and around us. that is nourishing us, but we have also to be in touch with our suffering so that we can understand and transform our suffering. So tip in itself has three meanings. And the word hiện, first of all, hiện tại, which means present, the here and now. We must be in touch with what is happening now. The second one is realize, hiện thực, thể hiện. We put into practice to make something a reality. We want to realize liberation and freedom. And the third one is to be appropriate, to be actualized, to update, to make suitable for our society. We have to offer the Dharma in a skillful way, appropriate for our society and our time. So with all this meaning of the two words, tiếp, hiện, how can we possibly translate it into English as one or two words? So you just learn the meaning from the Vietnamese, which have their root in Chinese. And then in English, we just say order of interbeing, or in French, ordre de l'inter-être. But from this deeper understanding of the word, we know the direction of practice of the order of interbeing. We know that it means engaged Buddhism, Buddhism that enters the world, as we say in Vietnamese, đạo Phật đi vào đời. We become engaged with our society, with our actualized life. So here is the wonderful Ottawa Pagoda Sangha, order of interbeing. We lost already two sisters. Miriam, wonderful. Miriam left this world in May 2010, and compassionate and passionate Lorraine passed away in November 2016. So on the picture you can see Jim standing on the first row, and then Brenda, Mihaela, Vin, André, Viviane, and Cynthia. And on the last row, Paul, Milleray, Catherine, and Sheila. And on the corner here we have Sarah and Hang, two wonderful OI members who have led a Sangha in Kingston and who have left to go back to Australia. So they are now, we could call them the OI. And by that time, I think Sarah is waiting to give birth to their baby. So hopefully we will hear the good news from Sarah and Hang soon. Missing in the picture is Philip and Cynthia, two wonderful person who co-lead the Sangha de Gatineau, and you can join them every Tuesday evening in French if you want. Not on the picture also is Jason. Jason left Ottawa and go somewhere in South America with his work, and we have no news since. And we also have two wonderful OI aspirants, Monique and Marie-Joëlle. But I would like to take the opportunity here to present my profound gratitude to all the non-OI members. The non-OI members, sometimes and most of the time, they are even more devoted then we are, and I can cite a few names. I can start with André Bigra, Bill Douglas, um, David, Kelly, um, Mary Jane, Hòa and Dũng, Anne, Helen. I might forget some. You will have to apologize for me and forgive me for not having all names. But anyway, thanks to all the work, we create an atmosphere of practice and a beautiful Sangha. And my gratitude always go profoundly to all of you. In 2014, Thầy invited Andre, Lorraine, and Mihaela to go to Plum Village to be invested as Dharma teachers. 2014. Beautiful picture of our three handsome and beautiful Dharma teachers. They can tell you more about their journey. And the last one here show you a typical picture of how Thầy transmit a lamp of wisdom to the Dharma teacher being. Here you can see Dharma teacher Lorraine Osborne, her beautiful name, True Beautiful Truth, and she received the lamp of wisdom from Thầy in Plum Village in May 2014. And I will conclude in reading Thầy message to all the OI members. With our brown jacket, which represent our humility, which represent the power of our silence, we have to build a Sangha where there is no competing for authority or for power, where there is brotherhood and sisterhood. The term in French is very beautiful, fraternité et sororité, where we look at each other with loving kindness. This is something we can do if we are in harmony with each other. If we have brotherhood and sisterhood, we can do it. The fragrance of our Sangha will go far, and Thầy will be perfumed by that fragrance. And that is our work. So with that, I am bowing out, and I present my gratitude for your listening, and I will invite the bell to conclude my presentation.